What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Real Rumble. Today I got a few things I was going to talk about. So let's get to it, man. We got some DC news, of course, from the boss himself, James Gunn. He always is giving us updates, so always gives us things to talk about, get excited for. We got of course some remakes, some sequels, and we got a kind of a cryptic little message from the set of Avengers Doomsday. So, guys, if you haven't got a chance to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe to the channel now. And I appreciate all the love. Guys, so let's get to it, man. So, first thing I was going to talk about today was, we got some DC news, right? DC is at a very hot moment right now. While Marvel is kind of in the slumps a little bit, right? However, we got some news from James Gunn himself. This is an article. This is on Comic Book Movie News. So James Gunn shares DC slant update, why Peacemaker was a priority, and whether Lex was referring to Killer Croc, when of course that iconic scene, I would say, of the spoilers for his cameo in Peacemaker episode 6, where he was talking about a leather dragon skin man, a cartoon-eyed guy. So DC Studios, DC Slant has undergone a few changes since being announced at the start of 2023, which I figured there was going to be, for them to actually get everything into fruition when they've released the Gods and Monsters. James Gunn, it's about 5 minutes long or so, where he introduced the DC and what his plans were. Now, he also mentioned too that there would be some changes, and there has been, of course. So, Peacemaker Season 2 was, of course, one of the things that they were going to do all along, no matter what, right? So, Peacemaker Season 2 was in the works before James Gunn was named co-CEO alongside Peter Safran. Despite its R rating, the series is billed as a pivotal part of the story he is telling in the DCU. I can see where it is and where it isn't, right? He also mentioned, too, that you're not going to have to watch everything to understand something. But if you are a fan like I am, you watch all of the different intertwining stories, television, the movies, you tend to geek out over these things, right? And so I can see where if you're following it like I am, oh man, there's a lot of cool stuff where I can see where this is going to play into Man of Tomorrow, which comes out 2 years from now. So GQ asked James Gunn about his decision to prioritize Peacemaker, despite Peacemaker being, of course, a lower level type of comic book character, right? And so this is from the horse's mouth. From the beginning, before I even took the job as the co-head of DC Studios, Peter Safran and I went in there, and our job was to really get the most out of the DC brand. And a lot of that was to able to maintain and hopefully upgrade some of these characters, whether it was Superman, Wonder Woman, or Batman. Those are the Diamond properties. But it is also to take other characters and turn them into Diamond properties. That is Peacemaker or whatever. Lantern's the other characters that aren't as known universally, which is what I was able to do at Marvel. I mean, the two biggest rides in the world are both Guardians rides. That is true. Hey, if you haven't gone to Disney and got a chance to ride both Guardian rides, you are missing out, man. Those things are fun, super fun. I'll be honest with you. I think I forgot which one, but you're spinning. You're like spinning as you're going through the coaster, and it's like it's probably the coolest ride I've ever been on. And he said that's incredible because nobody knows who these characters were, but now that they were a part of the Marvel lore in some way that makes them major players. Absolutely. Can we think of Marvel without the Guardians now? Man, that's nuts, right? Those characters were so cool. He said, and to be able to do that with Peacemaker, he said, it's so funny. Every time I sat in a crowd watching Superman and Peacemaker comes on a screen, it was one of those crowd's favorite moments, and that's a character nobody knew. That is really cool. And then, you got to also give credit to John Cena as well. for truly embodying that character, I think. So he said, looking beyond Peacemaker to the wider DCU, Gunn confirmed that there is actually two really cool film scripts that are that I'm hoping to take to the next level, and that we have general plans for, and I'm excited about both of those. So he goes, and I'm excited about one TV project in particular. So he's hinting at there's two films that they got planned with two cool scripts, and then of course a TV project. Now, I think, is that TV project a spinoff of, you know, Superman? Are we going to like a Mr. Terrific? Or I even heard something about that. I even read something to where there was going to be like a Jimmy Olsen series, right? Like an anthology where it's going to be, each episode going to be different based on a different criminal. He's like journalizing. So I think that's going to be cool what we're going to get. But I'm excited for everything we've gotten so far. Now, he also added, he goes, I don't know why we're not green light on that already. It's just to figure out the budget. So there's a couple things that are very present I'm excited about, dealing with getting Supergirl into shape and all those other things. Now, Supergirl, I think, is going to be good. Now, he said watching episodes of Lanterns, that's coming along well, Gunn said on the HBO series. So it's really just dealing a little bit with everything that's mostly Man of Tomorrow. That's the biggest thing for me. I mean, we go into production in April. So just as up and coming April, they're going to already start Man of Tomorrow. Holy smokes, he already got a script done. That's really, really cool. And then he goes on to, and then talking about a little bit about Peacemaker. Last week's episode with the huge reveal, the reality is Earth X, right? Where pretty much like it's like a Nazi USA, the United States of Nazis. And he's, of course, the big cameo from Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor showing up, Rick Flag visiting him in prison, and then of course him with an iconic line, which I talked about earlier, where he said a bear-sized man with dragon skin who was butt fucking glowing twink. And then he goes on to acknowledge Gunn himself, and he said it's probably the first time that Lex has said, that phrase in any medium. He said it was very exciting to see everybody's reactions, but I got a lot of questions about it. He goes, I think the guy is Killer Croc, but who's the glowing twink? He goes, and when was to put the filmmaker that Killer Croc could be canonically bisexual? He replied, well, who knows, right? Man, people look into this stuff way too much, but that's very, very, very funny. So that's what we got there from, I guess you could say the DC side of things. So we got some pretty cool updates there, right? We got Lanterns is coming along. We got Supergirl coming along. Those are the next two things, along with Peacemaker. The next two episodes are going to be, I think, from what he's saying, is truly, it's truly important to DC in a whole going forward. So I'm excited, especially for the episode just in a couple of days, or tomorrow, and then of course next week as well. And then after that, man, we got Supergirl. So really, really exciting stuff there. Now, another note, besides from all the superhero stuff, comic book world, we actually are having an iconic 1980s TV series being brought to life once again. Now, and I feel like this is where most companies are going, right? It's like you have to have an IP, I guess you can say, to really bring a film in. So, that's why we see a lot of sequels, prequels, trequels, reboots, right? We see all of this stuff, right? Well, apparently, one of the 80s most iconic TV series is of course getting a reboot, man. So let's check it out, man. So it's Miami Vice. Now, I didn't grow up in the 80s, so I didn't get a chance to necessarily, watch Miami Vice. But of course, I heard about it through my parents. They talked about, how iconic, Miami Vice was, how cool it was, the Miami scene, the outfits, that neo-Nora type of deal. And it was very two cool characters that you wanted to see every week. And I think my dad said it ran for about 4 or 5 seasons, but because I remember him taking me to the theaters when we went and watched the reboot of it, which was done by Michael Mann, who I also believe produced the original series as well. So we got a reboot coming, man. And then if you see, from this article here, we got a nice face of Michael B. Jordan right here on the screen. And so, with that being said, it says Michael B. Jordan and Glenn Powell are reportedly in talks to headline Miami Vice reboot film. Now, I think that's actually pretty cool casting, I guess you can say. Now, if you guys are not too familiar with Miami Vice, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a summary about the characters, and it's actually pointed here in the article, it looks like. And so, there's two roles. You got James Sonny Crockett, and then you also got Ricardo Rico Tubbs. Okay, those are the two main characters. They're two narcotic detectives set in the this was set in the 1980s in Miami. And so, of course, busting up the drug scene. And it was a very cool, stylish show. I have got a chance to go back and watch it. It is cool and stylish, very 80s, very, very 80s. So, Glenn Powell and Michael B. Jordan may be teaming up to lead Universal's upcoming Miami Vice reboot. The iconic 80s TV series created by Anthony Yerkovich and produced by Michael Mann, originally starring Don Johnson and Philo Michael Thomas as undercover detectives fighting crime in a stylish neon-soaked outfits. Yeah, they had them cool, like stylish little cheetah prints and all that shit, man. The show ran for 5 seasons, and it was later adapted into Mann's 2006 mixed-reviewed feature film with starred Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. Now, if let's be honest, if it was if it was done differently, and it was done in a different time, man, those are still two iconic actors to be able to portray these roles, right? Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is one of the most talented actors, I think, performers ever. And then you got Colin Farrell. I mean, if you haven't got a chance to see Penguin, holy moly, can that dude act, right? So I think that's crazy, thinking now. I like Michael B. Jordan, but I would not put him on, of course, Jamie Foxx's level. And then Glenn Powell, get out of here. However, for today's time, I think that's good casting. I think that is good casting. Glenn Powell, Michael B. Jordan. I couldn't imagine seeing their little banter back and forth with each other. I think that's actually a pretty good combination. No, good choice acting wise. So now this is what I think is the great part about this. So Top Gun Maverick and F1 director Joseph Kosinski is reportedly attached to lead the reboot, which is with Nightcrawler's Dan Gilroy writing the script. The reboot will be filmed in IMAX. Now, according to Nexus Point News, Powell and Jordan are in talks to portray the iconic roles of Sonny Crockett and Rico Tubbs. And it's already set for a release date of August 6, 2027, making a major revival of the stylish, crime-driven classic. Now, the question for me is going to be, and there you go, look, that's the original cast right there. So the thing for me is, I think what they should do is set it in the 80s still. Why not? I think that would be the wise thing to do. But I could be wrong. I don't make movies, so I just enjoy them. However, I think that would be so cool, is seeing Michael B. Jordan and Glenn Powell both set in the 80s in this stylish type of ordeal. Take out the cell phones, take out the all the modern stuff, right? And just make it, now, unless they plan to turn it into a franchise, I guess they can, you can set it in modern times. But I think that we got a good creative with Joseph Kosinski. He did Top Gun Maverick. He did just do F1. And if you haven't got a chance to just see some of the shots, oh man, it was just, the action was good. The storylines were paced very well. I did feel like F1 was a little too long. However, still a great movie. And then you got, he also did Oblivion. So I'm kind of pumped. I'm kind of pumped for this. This is going to be good. All right. So with that one down, next update, still not superhero related. I know everybody loves that superhero stuff, and I do as well. But I don't know if you guys ever remember, if you even remember this, or for anybody who's younger, or hey, for some of the older folks my age, I'm at 32. Man, there was a great movie that came out when I was younger, and I just absolutely loved it. And they may end up making a sequel. and it was released back in 2004, and it starred Nicolas Cage, and he was a historian. National Treasure. I absolutely loved National Treasure growing up. I've always been a history buff, and I understand, for some folks that might have found it a little cheesy, or but it was a very fun adventure movie, with Nicolas Cage, and then you had the girlfriend that was from Troy, Diana Crugen, I believe it was, and you also had Harvey Keitel and John Voight. I mean, it was just a very fun mystery history type of deal. And then they ended up making a second one, which I didn't think was as good as the first one, but it was still very good. And that one had Ed Harris, and they ended up finding the hidden city of gold. And these are just fun adventure movies. Well, with the sequel coming out in like 2007 or so, we haven't had anything since. And well, what not but a perfect time, especially in this trend of where we're having sequels, late sequels, stuff coming out 20 years later even. We had Dumb and Dumber 2, for instance, right? We're getting a Top Gun 2, we're getting all these different sequels, and sometimes they're great sequels, I guess you can say. However, why not do a National Treasure 3? Well, we might be in luck, folks. And this is from the horse's mouth, Jerry Bruckheimer himself. And so National Treasure 3 gets an exciting news update with producer Jerry Bruckheimer teasing that Nicolas Cage return. Released back in 2004, the original National Treasure remains one of Cage's most beloved movies, with the iconic acting playing adventurer Ben Gates. Now, he replies his role for the 2007 sequel, Book of Secrets. Man, damn, I'm on the money, man. 2004, 2007, I'm on the money with these dates here. And then there, of course, I completely forgot. They even did a Disney Plus series called Edge of History, which I didn't even watch. It was probably not very good. It only ran she was a spin-off series, but it was didn't go well. Well, it's said that National Treasure 3 has been along in development with original director Jonathan Turtletub. I think that's how you say his name. But Cage has previously expressed skepticism about the project will happen. Now, in a recent interview with The Wrap, Bruckheimer confirms that National Treasure 3 is still in the works. We're getting closer on that one, the producer said on the project. I don't know if he said it like that. We're getting closer on that one. But crucially, Bruckheimer also revealed that the expectation for the film that both Turtletub, I don't know how to say his name, and Cage will return. That's interesting. I don't know what else that guy has done recently, but that'd be really cool. So after National Treasure 3 update, Bruckheimer was then asked if he was disappointed by the franchise making the jump to streaming TV with National Treasure. The producer explained that the series ultimately did its job of keeping the franchise feeling relevant to audiences. Actually explained, now it was completely different. We want to keep the name alive in the public eye and the ziggest. I don't know how the hell to say that word. So, pretty interesting. Are you excited for a National Treasure 3? I know I am. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm excited for this. I think it'll be really cool. Nicolas Cage, man, the guy plays in everything now. So it'll be really interesting to see them, pretty much keeping the story alive and keeping, and see where Ben Gates is, today. And are we going to have some of the original cast? I know the one guy, he ended up even playing a little, I know he was scheduled to play a little part in the TV series, so it would be interesting, a little nerdy guy, so it'll be interesting to see. But hey, I want to hear your comments on that down below. National Treasure 3, man, might be coming our way for long. All right, so now that that's done, man, here we go. Avengers Doomsday. Set photo theory points to a return of one specific character. Now, I can't see it, but based on this photo alone, right here, I can't see where, what kind of hidden messages are there. Is that Robert Downey Jr. sitting in that chair? It might be. I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Let's see. And it might not allow us to show us the picture. Yep. See. So now look at the light. The light pointing to. That's interesting. Got this tent here. Got a tent there. I mean, I don't know where the theory is. I don't know. And, but he says look hard. I don't know. So this is an article. This is on Comic Book Movie News. And so, there's possible spoilers. So this is going to be some people theorizing. But I'm just not seeing it. It looks cool, though. On the set, it looks pretty cool. So it says, yesterday, Avengers Doomsday director Joe and Anthony Russo shared a cryptic behind-the-scene photo from the movie set, and a compelling theory points to a tease for one character in particular. As they did back in 2018 into the build-up of Endgame, director Joe and Anthony Russo took to Instagram yesterday to share a cryptic black and white photo from the set, encouraging fans to look hard for clues. 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 We need our handy dandy notebook. And when we use our minds one step at a time, we can do anything. Man, that's what you get having kids, man. Watching damn Blues Clues. So, clues. So, I mean, I pointed at a couple different things here. Like I said, I see the light pointing to the fixture. So I don't know what the deal is there. Is the hint at the shadow? I don't know. I'm not sure. So let's check it out. Let's see what people are theorizing here. So it says some major fans seem to feel that the arrangement of photos teases a Avengers versus X-Men, while others believe that Doom himself is visible in the shot. See below. Okay. Now, Eric Voss of the New Rockstars has shared a video outlining his theory, and while his findings might seem a little bit of a stretch at first, he does offer some fairly compelling evidence. Okay. Now, Voss believes that the imagery is hinting at the return of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, with the light in the center of the photo shining directly on three metal beams that seems to represent Logan's iconic claw slash. Okay. He also points out that there is a good chance that this photo was originally going to be shared on September 19th, exactly 7 years to the day of Russo's Endgame post, but the reveal was pushed back after Disney came under fire, for the Jimmy Kimmel debacle. This would have nothing to do with Wolverine, of course, but Voss theorized that the Russo's post was then delayed another full week due to the release of the full trailer for Insomniac Wolverine video game, which I haven't got a chance. We're going to check out that trailer too. I'm going to check that out because that looks I saw a photo and that looks pretty sick. I'm not a huge gamer, I guess you can say, but I do like to play some video games from time to time. And that from the pictures that I saw, that looks pretty sick. All right. So let's see what the Russos got to say here. So, we fully believe that Jackman will be back as Wolverine in Doomsday, but this photo is teasing his return. Let us know what you think. So, okay, I can see where it shows the three beams. I can see that. Look at the top of the tent. It shows like a little cloth, maybe like his. I don't know. Let me know what you guys. Let me know what you guys think of the image down below. I'm pumped up for this movie. I think Marvel knows kind of where they're at. I think they've done a good job with Thunderbolts. I actually just watched Thunderbolts the other night. It's still a good movie. They did a good job with it. And then of course Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four was good as well. Now I still think Superman was better than both of these films. You can hate on me if you want. I think Superman was awesome. It was fresh. It was definitely fresh. But, however, from a Marvel standpoint, they have done a good job with their last two films. Even though they did nerf up. They nerfed Mr. Fantastic, and I can't forgive them for that. That's the weakest part of the whole movie. It's not even Pedro Pascal's acting or nothing like that. The way that they nerfed Mr. Fantastic and his powers, hopefully they redeem him in Avengers Doomsday. So interested to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think of this photo below? Go ahead and screenshot it. Look it up. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comments. But guys, man, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you guys joining for the episode of Real Rumble. We got some really cool updates. We got some updates from DC side of things, from James Gunn himself. We got a new Miami Vice reboot coming along, created by Joseph Kaczynski. It's going to be great. And then we got National Treasure 3 coming along the way, which I do hope comes sooner rather than later. And then we got a nice little tease from the directors of Doomsday, kind of, making us think, keeping us engaged, which I love, for that movie coming out next year. But until next time, peace out.